Goalkeeper. The goalkeeper is the only player on the field allowed to use their hands, but only inside their own penalty area. They stand between the posts and act as the last line of defense. When everything else breaks down, the goalkeeper is the final barrier. It sounds simple, but the mental pressure alone makes this one of the hardest positions in the sport. One mistake can cost a team an entire match. Attacking midfielder. The attacking midfielder operates in the space between the midfield and the opposing defense. Their primary job is to create chances for the forwards, using vision, passing, and movement to unlock defenses. The best attacking midfielders in history have been some of the most technically gifted players the sport has ever seen. They thrive in tight spaces and often carry the creative responsibility of the entire team on their shoulders. Winger. Wingers play wide on the left or right side of the attack. Their job is to use pace and skill to get past defenders and either deliver crosses into the box or cut inside and shoot. In modern football, wingers are often inverted, meaning a right-footed player plays on the left side so they can cut in onto their stronger foot. Some of the most exciting moments in football come from a winger with the ball at their feet and open space ahead of them. Second striker. The second striker plays just behind the main forward. They drop deeper than a traditional striker to receive the ball, link up, play, and either shoot themselves or set up the player ahead of them. It is a role that requires technical quality and smart movement. The second striker needs to be unpredictable enough that defenders cannot decide whether to follow them or hold their position. False nine. The false nine looks like a striker but behaves like a midfielder. Instead of staying high and waiting for the ball, they drop deep into midfield to receive it, pulling center backs out of position and creating gaps for other attackers to run into. The role became widely known through how Lionel Messi used it at Barcelona under Pep Guardiola around 2009. When it works, it is almost impossible to defend because it removes the reference point that center backs rely on. Center forward. The center forward is the player closest to the opposing goal. Everything the team builds going forward is designed to eventually reach them. They are judged almost entirely on goals. A striker can play a quiet game, barely touch the ball, and still be the best player on the pitch if they score at the right moment. The pressure on a center forward is constant, and only a small number of players in the world can consistently handle that pressure at the highest level. Sweeper. The sweeper is a defensive position that sits behind the main defenders, cleaning up any balls that slip through. It was more common decades ago, used heavily in Italian football during the 1970s and 1980s. The role required reading the game quietly and being in the right place before danger even arrived. Most modern teams have moved away from this position, but its influence shaped how defenses are organized today. Center back. Center backs are the backbone of any defense. They sit in the middle of the backline and are responsible for blocking shots, winning headers, and marking opposing strikers. Most center backs are physically strong and good in the air. They do not get much credit when things go right, but they are the first ones blamed when things go wrong. The best center backs make the game look effortless even when they are constantly under pressure. Fullback. Fullbacks play on the left and right sides of the defense. Their original job was purely to defend the wide areas, stopping wingers from crossing the ball. Over time, the role expanded significantly. In modern football, fullbacks are expected to push forward, overlap with wingers, and deliver crosses of their own. Some of the best fullbacks in the world are almost as dangerous going forward as the attackers they line up alongside. Wingback. The wingback is a more advanced version of the fullback. They operate in systems that use 3 center backs, which frees the wingbacks to bomb up and down the entire sideline. They defend when needed and attack constantly. The stamina required to play this role at a high level is enormous. A wingback who cannot last 90 minutes at full intensity becomes a liability on both ends of the field. Defensive midfielder. The defensive midfielder sits just in front of the backline and acts as a shield. Their job is to intercept passes, win back possession, and break up attacks before they become dangerous. They rarely score and rarely get highlight reel moments, but every elite team in the world is built around having a reliable one. Without a strong defensive midfielder, the whole defensive structure behind them becomes exposed. Central midfielder. The central midfielder is the engine of the team. They cover more ground than almost any other position, constantly moving between defending and attacking. depending on what the moment demands. A good central midfielder can control the entire tempo of a match, slowing the game down when needed, or pushing it forward when the opportunity is there. It is one of the most demanding positions mentally because every decision they make affects both sides of the field. Box-to-box midfielder. The box-to-box midfielder does everything. They defend like a defensive midfielder and create like an attacking one. When their team loses the ball, they track back. When the team wins it, they push forward into dangerous areas. Players in this role cover enormous distances every game and need both technical skill and physical endurance to be effective. It is arguably the most complete midfield position in the sport.